Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Box Office Dynasty. We are your gracious hosts. I'm Jack.
And I am Josh.
You are Josh. Damn right you're Josh. And we have a good episode today. We are going to be talking some D23 at the beginning. Lots of news coming out of D23 and amongst other things. We are reviewing our next Bible study movie, which is Lovely and Amazing, so we're going to get into that. And box office numbers, of course. The End of Oak Street came out last weekend, and I'm very excited to talk about that with you. And then I will be quickly reviewing X-Men 97 Season 2. So be sure to stick around for that. How you doing, Josh?
I'm pretty good. I just got back from the Poconos with the boys. It was a very fun and relaxing weekend. Shout out to, and a bunch of them are BOD listeners and
Hell
guests.
yeah.
So shout out to them, Ben, Brandon, Matt, and then of course, Nelly and Nick. We had a great time. It was fun. But I am happy to be back and talking about movies. As you said, there is a lot going on. Spoilers ahead, by the way. I did not watch X-Men 97. I know we've talked about me watching it on this podcast before.
Yeah, which is
I did not watch. I have not seen it, so
I will be
that's a
adamant
spoiler
about
for that
that in
segment.
my review.
I am sure you will. Even when you weren't here, Brandon was very adamant on his seesaw for that episode that I watch X-Men 97 as well. So
it's so easy to watch. Whatever,
you're not alone. Well, you know what? In light of some news that we'll get into, I do have a little more motivation to get to X-Men 97, actually.
Yes, absolutely.
So why don't we get to our news nuggets?
Yeah. D23 happened over the weekend, and a lot of news. I mean, the biggest one we got to talk about is the X-Men cast was revealed.
Yeah, we got a lot of, not all necessarily,
not all.
We got a lot of the X-Men cast announced to us. So we can go back and forth and talk about it. Obviously, the first one we already knew, the most obvious Sadie Sink, Jean Grey. You know what I mean? So she was kind of the one who helped lead the reveal, which I thought was pretty cool. She's really the very first X-Men in the MCU, like MCU version of X-Men in the MCU. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, I guess technically Patrick Stewart was in.
No, but I'm saying but Patrick's, he's like a Fox X-Men.
Yeah,
I'm saying
the new era.
The new era MCU X-Men. I mean, yeah, you're right. There have been X-Men in the MCU. She is the first MCU X-Men, not Fox X-Men in the universe, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And then Kit Connor came out as Cyclops, which we saw announced earlier, so that wasn't really a huge surprise. But I'm very fine with that casting. I like it a lot.
Yeah, like we said last week, I haven't seen a lot of his work, but I like the look, and I hear good things about him as an actor. So I'm for the choice. I don't think they always have to, especially because the MCU is known for casting such big names. Yeah. As we know. So I don't mind that for this role here with Cyclops, they're going with someone who's known, but is not necessarily, maybe Sadie Sink level known,
Agreed.
We actually also talked about this other casting as a possibility now confirmed for Charles Xavier, which is Christopher Abbott, who is officially going to be playing Professor X.
Yeah, he's going to be our first New York American Professor X in live action media, which is kind of crazy to me because
you go.
Patrick Stewart, I grew up, obviously we both grew up with Patrick Stewart as Professor X, and I always assumed that in the comics and in the cartoons and everything, Professor X was a British dude who just happened to have a mansion in Westchester, New York. That is not the case. Professor X is from New York. Like in the comics, he is an American, dude. Like it's crazy to me that is instilled in us. And no, this is going back to the roots of the comics, which is pretty cool.
I think it's funny. Like that is in a way, like it in itself is proof of how good of the casting of Patrick Stewart is.
Oh, absolutely.
That, they were able to take this, upstate New York, old New York kind of style character and make him a British man
Yeah, nobody minded
and
one
make
bit.
it work. Not only make it work, but make it the new version of the character, like that is canon to people's heads.
Yeah.
No, I love it, and I think it's going to be an interesting way to see how Christopher Abbott goes about playing the character, is how different it's going to look from the Charles Xavier that we have known for the last 20 plus years.
Yeah. And then we had Samara Weaving come out as Emma Frost, which is also something we had previously seen announced. But I think that's a great casting, man. She's awesome.
Yeah, and she's been very publicly excited about it. I've seen
Which
her
I
make a
love.
lot of posts about Emma Frost and different references to comics around her, and
Yeah.
I think she is kind of what you picture as a live action Emma Frost. I think she's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I just I like this lineup. So the original X-Men team is Jean Grey, Cyclops, Beast, Iceman, and Storm, I want to say. Yeah, I think that's the original 5. Um I don't know what Emma Frost's role is going to be in this movie, if she's going to be an X-Man, because that's weird. She is originally a villain that maybe becomes an anti-hero type thing, but she's always kind of villainous in her own way. Every now and then she'll help out. But it's weird to me that she's one of the first announced, considering she's never really an X-Man in regular timelines, you know? So it's interesting what they're doing with her.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe that stuff will have already happened.
Maybe, which is what these we get that sometimes in the MCU. Like Ant-Man is Scott Lang instead of Hank Pym, because all that Hank Pym stuff already happened when he was Ant-Man. You see it in Lanterns just came out. Lanterns, it's Kyle Chandler is Hal Jordan, but he's already been Green Lantern for 20 years. So they could totally be going that route for sure.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking, especially because Samara Weaving is older, slightly older than not all of, but most of the lineup here. So, I do think that is something they could just play into, that it's events that have already played out, in which case I think that could work perfectly fine. Like you said, Scott Lang does.
Yeah.
And then we got obviously one of the biggest announcements. Indy Navarrete is playing Rogue, which maybe a little bit of a surprise, because there was some fan casting that she might be Mystique or something, and she ended up being cast as Rogue.
I don't mind it at all. People are pissed at her for a multitude of reasons. They're even mad that she's in the MCU, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that she was even considering joining the X-Men. That's stupid. We can all agree that's stupid. Get that bag. You were in one of the most successful indie movies of all time. Now you're joining the biggest franchise of all time. Absolutely get that bag. You deserve it. But her as Rogue is interesting, because there's really two types of rogues. There's the Southern Belle Rogue, which is more common. I don't know if they're going to go that route. And then there's the goth high school girl Rogue, which may be more likely. I prefer the Southern one, because that's the usual continuity one. But I think she could pull off either, honestly. So I'm excited either way.
I think they're going to go with the latter. The gothic kind of.
Yeah, which I don't love, but I'm fine with it.
Well, we'll see. But I love her as this character. And I actually want to talk about what you said for a minute with her, capitalizing off the success of Obsession and joining the MCU and collecting her bag. Because I was looking, we actually this is going to be a nugget within a nugget, okay. But I think it's really interesting. Nuggetception for real, dude. Is this what Christopher Nolan feels like?
Yeah.
Indy Navarrete reportedly turned down 2 films to be able to star in Marvel Studios' X-Men. The first is a horror movie directed by Matthias Honey, that would have paid her $2.5 million. And I looked at this Matthias Honey's filmography, not great, probably not a bad one to have turned down, that she might have not turned it down before Obsession, but can afford to now.
Mm-hmm.
But the second one is pretty crazy, and it's understandable that if it conflicted with the MCU, she needs to get paid. That's where she is in her career, collect her paycheck. But it is a crazy thing to turn down, in my opinion. Indy Navarrete turned down starring in Michael Mann's Heat 2, starring alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and Christian Bale.
I saw that.
So Indy Navarrete could have starred as probably the lead actress alongside DiCaprio and Bale in a Michael Mann Heat sequel. And
Listen,
what's your take?
I don't blame her in the slightest, not even just
No.
because of the money, but Marvel is just job security for like 10 years. You cannot, as a young working actor or actress, anyone, it's so hard to be like, yeah, I'll be in this really great, maybe profitable movie for sure, working with great people and great directors, but that's one and done. With Marvel, you have job security and you can do other stuff on the side, but it just so happened that these two would conflict. I think she made the right choice. As much as I would love to see her in other stuff.
Look, you know me. I would rather see her in the Michael Mann movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Christian Bale. I think to see her as this, like this rising talent alongside two of the all-time greats would be incredible. I don't think you could even deny how incredible that would be.
I would love to see it.
I personally would rather see that than from like a fan standpoint. And a selfish standpoint, I would rather see that over X-Men. And I am excited for her in X-Men. I think she's a great choice for Rogue. I think there's a lot of excitement there. I'm excited. It rejuvenates me with the MCU a bit. Obviously, I would just rather see her with DiCaprio and Bale. But I agree with your take. You can't blame her for choosing to collect a generational paycheck and a job security for 10 to 15 years after she finally like blew up off of Obsession. Anyone would make that choice. I would make that choice. You would make that choice. You cannot turn down that kind of money. No one should blame her. And I am still excited to see her in the MCU. I wish she could do both. Like, I'm a little confused because I thought Heat 2 would film way before X-Men because, it's coming out a year earlier, I believe. So I don't know why it conflicts, why she can't do both. But I guess she just can't. I don't know.
Well, X-Men's coming out 2028. When's Heat?
Right, I think Heat 2 is supposed to come out next year. Now, if it does, probably won't. Probably will be more like 2028. But even still, we've seen plenty of actors shoot two movies at the same time. I mean, Anne Hathaway has 5 movies coming out this year.
Look at Robert Pattinson, dude.
Yeah, so like,
I don't know. I don't know the background stuff.
No, obviously neither do I. I'm sure there's a reason. I'm just saying as a fan, I don't know why we can't get both. It stinks. Like the dream outcome is her playing Rogue and being alongside DiCaprio and Bale. So
yeah,
it's still exciting though.
We got 2 more casting announcements for the X-Men. One of which is Storm will be played by relatively unknown actress Maya Boyd, which is awesome. Storm is iconic, and she is one of the best female Marvel characters of all time. Honestly, probably my favorite. She's just so incredible. I love her. And this Maya Boyd, having only a few IMDb credits, will be Storm. Like Halle Berry is Storm, but she's also so many other things. Maya Boyd will be Storm, and that will be her iconic character, and she will turn this into an iconic character. I have faith. She looks the part. I think it's going to be incredible. What do you think of that?
I agree. I don't really, similar to Kit Connor, I don't really know much of her work, obviously, but I also think that I love the look. I think she has the look. I think I'm confident, obviously, that the talent is also there, and that you are right. She'll be able to kind of define a new generation of the role of Storm, similar to the way that I think Indy Navarrete will with Rogue, that I think Christopher Abbott can with Professor X, that I think Sadie Sink can with Jean Grey. Like, I'm really excited about this youth movement for this X-Men cast, because one of my biggest complaints, and especially with Doomsday coming up, has been, look, I love Ian McKellen. I love Patrick Stewart. I love these guys. They have been such a big part of Marvel and a part of our viewing experiences since we were kids. But, they're 90 and 80, late 80s. Like we have said goodbye to them like 5 different times. I am ready to move on,
Yeah, I agree.
and so it feels refreshing. Whereas I've complained about Doomsday being like, oh, just this again, like bringing them back again. And I still feel that way. Like, I feel the opposite about this. Man, new upcoming talent, people that I've liked in other stuff playing, defining new versions of these roles. Like, I'm very rejuvenated and very excited about this movie.
Yeah. And our final casting announcement, I'll let you take that. It's going to be a totally new character that we haven't seen in live action before.
Yeah, so we finally are getting Adam Driver in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He will be playing none other than Mr. Sinister. So this is a really cool cast. I'm so intrigued by them going in this direction. Like you said, we've never seen him in the live action. We didn't get a Magneto announcement. I don't know that we're really gonna get Adam Driver here. It doesn't get much better than him.
Yeah, I'm completely fine. Listen, Magneto is probably my favorite mutant of all time after Wolverine. Wolverine's my favorite, but after it's probably Magneto. I absolutely love Magneto. He's a top 10 comic book character for me. But I'm finally glad that he's not going to be the main villain of an X-Men movie. Hopefully, we've gotten like 10 X-Men movies, and he's been the villain of every single one. And half the times he's the villain, half the times he's a good guy and he betrays them, all this stuff. Mr. Sinister is the villain of season 1 of X-Men 97, and he's awesome. He's the villain of a Deadpool game that I played. He's awesome. He's cool in the comics. He clones the X-Men and makes them fight each other. He goes undercover inside the X-Mansion. All this cool shit that he does. He's a great character, and I'm very excited to see Adam Driver play him. Would Adam Driver have been a cool Magneto? Absolutely. But I'm kind of cool. I'm cool with them keeping that hidden, and we're moving on to something else.
Yeah, I you know what my take is on it though? I think we're getting a Mr. Sinister. He's first of all, he's obviously going to be the main villain. It's not even like a maybe Magneto still comes. Like, no, they're getting Adam Driver. He is the villain. My opinion on that, I think he's a one and done, and that's why there's no Magneto. That's why it's Mr. Sinister.
I agree.
'Cause I don't think Adam Driver, after Kylo Ren committing to 3 films with Star Wars and the way that all went down, I don't know that he wants to tie himself to Marvel. And I think the fact that, we've known Kevin Feige said publicly, like, oh, we've been trying to find a place for him. We're trying to get him to, and by find a place, they mean get him to accept any role that he wants because he's
anything
Adam
they'll
Driver.
throw at him. Yeah.
And so I think he finally said yes to doing Mr. Sinister because he sees the chance to make a really terrifyingly memorable villain in an X-Men movie that hasn't been done before, and he doesn't have to commit long term, like 10, 15 years, like we're saying with Indy Navarrete, who wants that security. He doesn't need that security at his stage in his career. He made all that money off Star Wars. Adam Driver, I'm sure, wants to work with different filmmakers, do different kinds of projects. So I like it, and that's my take. And if it is a one and done, obviously I would love to see more of him as Mr. Sinister. But like, if it is one and done, and they eventually do Magneto, which I assume they would, I think that that's fine, and that's a great way to start and a great Adam Driver role in the MCU.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Marvel has a knack of not of wasting villains, and I think this is kind of the perfect villain to waste in quotation marks, because like you're not wasting him if you do one movie that's good, but like Ultron, for an example, we get him in Vision Quest trailer, all that stuff, but he really should have been a present force throughout the MCU at least a couple times. So I don't like that they do that, but I think Mr. Sinister is the perfect character to do that with, because you have bigger, badder villains like Apocalypse, like Magneto. For the X-Men, Mr. Sinister is always just a one and done guy. So this is a perfect role for Adam Driver, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm really excited to see how they go about it. Like, I just think that he is going to be like that centerpiece of the movie. I think that if this X-Men movie is not like just, you talk about Ultron with, Age of Ultron, but like if this X-Men movie is like we're all like top 5 MCU or even more. Like, this is an incredible film, and he's one and done. No one's gonna care.
Yeah.
Because it's such a great film. Like, I talk about how, sometimes the MCU does have a connectivity problem with all the vastness of the projects and everything. So it would be nice to have a change where they have a really successful one and done standalone story. And I'm sure the film will have broader implications on the future of the MCU at that point. But like, in general, to have this standalone story, the X-Men versus Mr. Sinister, they defeat him in the end or whatever will end up happening, and that's it, and it's a great story. Like, I don't think every villain that is great has to be this long-standing villain. You have Magneto still waiting in the wings. If you're doing, obviously, all the other X-Men, you're going to eventually do Magneto. Like,
Yeah,
that's obviously going to happen. So, I just think that is ultimately going to be the way they do it, and I think that is the way they should do it. And that way, Adam Driver doesn't have to commit to the MCU. He already did that with Star Wars. He could just do other projects. He could work with Spike Lee again or something. I don't know.
Yeah. We got a lot of stuff from D23. Obviously, we don't have time to get into everything. There's just really one thing that I want to talk to you about. So we got Vision Quest trailer. We got Ahsoka Season 2 trailer, Zootopia 3 announcement, a Doomsday trailer, new Pixar trailers. But the one I want to talk to you about, and if you want to talk to me about anything, we can talk about it. But specifically, did you see the Starfighter trailer with Ryan Gosling?
No, I actually don't think I did. I saw the logo. They showed
it's the rebellion symbol with the crossbones.
Yeah, I saw
looks
the logo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Starfighter looks so good. All right, well then we don't even have to talk about it. You got to watch that trailer. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it looks fucking awesome. I don't love that there's a kid sidekick in it. I feel like Disney has been having a problem recently with having you need a kid sidekick to make things funny. You know what I mean? Like, you get that in Mando, it's in the Bad Batch, it's in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, it's kind of getting old.
Sure.
And it seems like they have that again in this movie, which I don't love. But other than that, Ryan Gosling seems to fit into this world perfectly. It looks like it's maybe a smaller scale movie, which looks awesome. And I'm very excited for it. And you got to watch the trailer, and maybe we could talk about it another week. But he just looks like he fits in so well. He looks fucking cool. He's got a leather jacket on, man. He's in the ship. He looks awesome, dude.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of trailers. I didn't see that one, I don't think. I'm like,
maybe it was leaked and it came across my TikTok or something, because I definitely saw a teaser trailer for it.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I never saw that one.
Maybe it was leaked and I accidentally came across it, because I didn't go searching for it. I just saw it.
No. Well, let me see if it even exists real quick. I won't watch it right now,
Yeah.
But let me see if it.
But he just looks great, man. And I'm very excited to see him in Star Wars. I mean, we're getting Adam Driver and Ryan Gosling in the MCU, and now we're getting Ryan Gosling in Star Wars. It's so good, dude.
No, it was definitely a leak.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
well, it looks awesome.
Well, no, that's exciting though. Like that is exciting to see.
When it comes out, we'll talk about it more. But when the actual trailer,
for sure.
But it looks great.
No, that's pretty much it with D23. Some exciting stuff. Looking forward to it. The only other piece of news that I had in my news nuggets this week was actually with Apple TV with Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso season 4 debuted the other week, and it opened with 296.6 million minutes watched in its first 2 days, which is the biggest launch in Apple TV history. The premiere outpaced all previous seasons of Ted Lasso, as well as the other biggest hits of the studio, including Severance and Pluribus. So I thought that was really interesting. I wanted to share that. Ted Lasso season 4 with a massive debut.
Did you watch the first episode?
Well, I in a way it's a bit spoiling my seesaw, but yes, I did. I'll talk about it a bit more then.
Oh, cool.
But I did watch it. I am, I'm not surprised. Like, Ted Lasso has always been the flagship show. Obviously, Severance is up there, but I feel like Ted Lasso has always been the flagship show. Ted Lasso, to me, is like the House of Cards for Apple TV. Like, remember how the House of Cards was the first real big, hit Netflix original show?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, or like Orange is the New Black, one of the earlier ones that was the big hit.
Yeah, you watched it because you love Kevin Spacey.
Oh
So
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
you're his biggest fan, so you write letters to him and stuff.
dude. In all seriousness, he's such a good actor, and it is such a shame that he's a piece of shit
I
because
know,
he is such a good actor.
dude. I love Baby Driver, the movie, and it's got horrible people in it. It's got like
Yeah, it
Ansel
does.
Elgort, Kevin Spacey. Like it's really bad when
Hey,
I
John
watch it.
Bernthal is there at least.
John Bernthal's in it. Jamie Foxx. I feel like he did something recently, but maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, it's not great watching that movie again.
So anyway, no,
John
yeah,
Hamm,
that's,
who like beat up kids in college or like for hazing them in frats. Like
did he
it's not.
actually? Actually, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah. He
surprised. I'm
like
not
tried to. He almost killed someone, I think, or he did, or someone did die in his
Holy
frat.
shit! What
I think
the
someone might have
fuck?
died in his frat from hazing, and he's like partially responsible. I don't know if that's true,
What
but
the fuck did he do? Beat them with a club? What do
I
you mean
don't.
he's responsible?
You could go, just look up John
How's he
Hamm
partially
hazing.
responsible?
Because he was like he was president of the frat or some shit. I don't know. You could Google it if you're listening to this. Google John Hamm hazing. It's fucked up.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Anyway, so Baby Driver's got a bad cast.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, but yeah, Ted Lasso is. I don't even know how the fuck we got there anymore. Like honestly, I don't even know what the
House of
like,
Cards,
line
Netflix.
of thought was. Oh right. Okay. I was like, how did we fucking get here?
We derailed a
actually?
little bit.
All right. Well, that's that. Those are the news nuggets. I did want to obviously spend a little time talking about Hayden Panettiere, who tragically passed away this past weekend at the age of 36. Her cause of death has only been speculated. It has not been confirmed at this time. But yeah, Panettiere, this was a shock to me. I know, we'll talk a little bit about her, and then I want to ask you something, get your opinion on something. But like, I'll start with saying this. I hadn't seen a ton of stuff she was in, but she's been around since she was a little kid.
She's been a name that you know.
Everyone, yeah, she's been a name, I've definitely seen her work. I just haven't seen a lot of it like some other people. But she's a name you've always known. She's only 36 years old. It is one of the shocking. It's not like coming on here and saying, "Oh man, Robert Duvall died. He was 95 years old." Like it. It is one of the. It's like remember when Chadwick Boseman died, and we were in college at the time. And we were roommates, and we had a Subway on our campus, and I was going to Subway, you were back at the apartment, and I was online, and someone like told me that Chadwick Boseman died, and I was like, what? And I looked at my phone and I saw it, and I was like, holy fucking shit. And I called you.
Yeah, and I had no idea.
And you were like, why the fuck are you calling me? You've been gone for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, did you see the news? Chadwick fucking Boseman died, And that was like you will never forget where you were moments, because you're not expecting it, because when it's someone who's so young, it's like a shock, when it's someone old, it's like that it's the natural process of life. It's what we know to be deeply human, to grow old. It's just the extent of life. But when it just, and especially in Panettiere's case, just cut short, like you're not sick. It's not like even that where you have time to prepare, right?
Yeah.
It's like a shock to the system. And even for someone like me, who is not necessarily like the president of the Hayden Panettiere fan club, I've seen your college films, like it's still a shock to the system. It's still really upsetting just from that fact alone. Like it's someone who has had a rough life, who has given so much, who still had so much left to give, who's a mother, and it cuts short. That's why it bothers me so deeply, why I'm sure it bothers a lot of people so deeply.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't think I've ever seen her work, to be honest.
No, that's not true. She is the voice of Dot in A Bug's Life.
Oh, is that the baby?
Yeah, that's the little kid, the little
I've seen some of her
yeah,
work then.
yeah.
But I knew, like, just quickly, I briefly met some of her family members, on a few separate occasions because people I know are very close with them. And, the people I've met were really nice, and they're really good people, and I've only spoken a handful of words to a couple of them, but it's tough, like, seeing her family and then hearing about this, and then I mean the people I know are obviously upset about it too because they knew her. They grew up knowing her and stuff, and they were like family friends with her, and it's rough. They even called some of her family members like uncle, aunt, like that stuff. Like that's how close they are, and so I've met them on a few occasions, and it's just really sad because they are good people, and it's tough to hear that, and they've been having it's obviously not the first time, unfortunately, with the family, and just sucks being so young and being a mother, and obviously also a daughter and a niece and a granddaughter. Like it's terrible. It sucks.
Yeah, man. And like I mean, it's interesting, you bring up her family. Obviously, she, like I said, Panettiere had a very unfortunately difficult life. She was estranged from her mother. There was issues, with her coming up as a child actress. And a lot of just manipulation and you know borderline, I guess, even abuse. Like it was very difficult, and it's very difficult being a child actor in general.
Mm-hmm.
um and so, I mean, it's just very sad because um she still could have had time to make things better, to really, you know I don't know, it's really hard to even put to words, when you just consider, like, how undeserved that kind of a short life is, and then some of the stuff, and even in the face of that, though, like, she still was a very talented, very successful and accomplished actress, and creative. She was a two-time Golden Globe nominee. I mean, that's nothing to snuff at. Um, and she has these two beloved TV shows. I haven't seen either, but they both have big fan bases. Heroes and Nashville. She was big parts of those. She was in the Scream franchise. I have seen that. That's where I primarily know her from. She's really good in that. She was just recently in, not the latest one, the one before, Scream 6 or 7, whichever one they're on at this point. I think that one was 6. She was in what? Oh, the movie Remember the Titans
Mm-hmm.
with Denzel.
Yeah.
She's in that. She's really good in that. I mean,
Oh.
it's just, yeah, man, it's just crazy. Like, she's so accomplished, and I actually, I look back on it, and I have seen her. And of course, I said A Bug's Life. Like, there is some things that I have seen her. I know she was in that movie with Michelle Trachtenberg, The Ice Princess, that's tragic. I mean, both of them gone at a very, very young age. I mean, geez, that's, I've never seen that movie, but I know there's a lot of people who love it. I think it's a Disney movie. I know there's a lot of people who love that movie. Yeah, no, I wanted to ask you what you think about, like, just in general. I don't know if you ever saw that documentary that came out last year with Drake Bell and the Nickelodeon children actors, and
I
the
saw a lot
Dan
of
Schneider
clips.
sets. And then you look at, like, Hayden Panettiere, and there's just so many other examples out there. Like, what do you make of, like, the conditions that it seems like child actors work in, and, like, is it, like, the worth that it even is for the content? Like, what do we do to make that better? Because it feels, or, like, what do you just think about it? Because it's just, to me, it's so sad, and I just don't know. Like, I feel like someone has to do something, because there's so many examples of it.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays it's like, oh, you're a former child actor and you're not a drug addict, or like you're not like homeless now, or you're still acting, you don't hate it. And yeah, those are like the rare cases. Um I think that child actors, it's really, I mean, it's the parents' job. Their priority should be protecting your child. It should not be how much money can my child make? Oh, can my child be in this best movie or whatever, this great, best, awesome movie? Anything like that. A great episode of television, my kid's going to be in it. It's the parents who seemingly make their children be child actors are the ones who are like living vicariously through their kids instead of trying to give your kids a good life and letting them do what they want. Um, and this is going to be a weird example, but look at the Rizzler. Okay. He's not a child actor per se, but he's someone who could totally be taken advantage of by his parents and by media or something like that. But it seems like everything I see him in, he's just like enjoying life. Like I see people recording him and he's just like playing on a playground. He's like 10 years old and he's just having a good life. And I think that when the parents get interviewed or something like that, they just talk about like, yeah, my kid is loved by the world, but like what's important is that he is a kid and he lives a life of a kid. And that's just because I saw that recently. That's in my head. But I don't think the parents of child actors have that mentality. And I do think it is their job to let their children not only be kids, but to protect them from the evils and manipulation of the world and stuff that is very accessible in Hollywood. So it's really, to me, it is the nature of the job, which is unfortunate, but also you can avoid that nature by protecting your child and being precautious of it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. It is up to the parents to protect your child. I don't know that was always the case. I'm not going to assume anything about Hayden Panettiere's personal life, but just based on the information that's public, what we know, like I don't know that was always the case. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart for her little 11-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
She actually, she didn't even have full custody of her. She relinquished it because she had dealt with so much postpartum depression and mental issues that she thought it would be best with her father. And that's got to be one of the most difficult choices, right? Like a parent can make, to do if you think it's what's best for them. And she was working hard to be able to be a presence for her daughter. I don't know. The whole thing just breaks my heart from a creative standpoint to a personal standpoint. Like I feel for her family. I feel for her fans. I feel for her, like it really is such a big loss. And maybe not one that you maybe haven't seen a lot of her work, and I'm not just saying about this you, Jack. I'm just saying in general, like maybe someone hasn't seen a lot of her work or thought much about her before. But like I think something like this, now that it's happened, like you're gonna look back and be like, man, like that, like unfortunately just gets you thinking about that person more, and you just then you watch more of their work and you think what could have been. Like I think we're gonna look back and we're gonna think, I mean I'm thinking it now, but in 5, 10, 15 years we're gonna say, man, Hayden Panettiere, she was a loss. Like that was such a tragic, I think it's gonna be like the way people look at Brittany Murphy maybe, or what was it, Naya Rivera, like people like that. So I don't know. Yeah, it breaks my heart. But and the family, like her brother died a few years ago.
Yeah. I think it was a drug overdose or something.
Yeah.
2003, I think.
Oh, was it really that long ago?
I
No,
think,
I don't think it was that long ago. I thought it was just a few years ago.
Maybe
it was definitely just a few years ago.
Let me Google it so we don't get our facts wrong. He died in 2023. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
So, anyway, yeah, all right. Well, there's no good way to ever transition out of that, but I just wanted to say rest in peace to Hayden Panettiere. I feel terrible about the whole thing, and it I think I will for a while, and I hope I just hope she rests in peace.
Yeah, now it's time to review some movies. Don't know how to segue to that.
Yeah, there's no, especially a movie called Lovely and Amazing.
Yeah, it's bad, not
bad,
relevant
not
right now.
not not great.
Not accurate.
Bad optics. But in a way, kind of similar based on, I guess it's a, female experience centric movie. We're going to get into it. So let's move on to our Bible study, folks. This is the Bible study segment of the podcast. Basically, we have this book right here. This is the ancient text book of movies from the New York Times, Essential 1,000 Films to See. It is our film Bible. We live and die by this film Bible. You guys comment numbers from this film Bible. They are between 23 and 1,265. We pick a one at random. We watch the movie that corresponds to it. That movie this week, Lovely and Amazing, the 2001 film directed by Nicole Holofcener. We're going to give our ratings and reviews, so spoilers ahead for Lovely and Amazing.
Yeah, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I give this movie 6.2 underage Jake Gyllenhaals out of 10.
Interesting. I give Lovely and Amazing 5 antisocial Jake Gyllenhaals out of 10.
He is underage and he is antisocial in this movie, so I guess that is pretty fitting.
Yeah, it seems like you and I had a similar thought process of this movie's just boring.
Yeah, so look, okay. What Lovely and Amazing is, it's not really a narrative, it's a character study, right? So, it's a film that's kind of highlighting, and for anyone who doesn't know what this movie's about, it's kind of a film that's highlighting these three sisters and their older mother and their relationships and their dynamics with one another and just kind of their experiences as women in what is at the time, the early 2000s society, which is notoriously a time that was very harsh on body image, especially for women. The film stars Catherine Keener, Brenda Blythen, Emily Mortimer, and like we said, Jake Gyllenhaal. And so, it's not really focused necessarily on like, we have a conflict, we have plot point A, B, and C. Not saying that it doesn't have that stuff. But yeah, it is way more just kind of focused on these characters. To your point, Jack, I think it accomplishes this. I think there's a lot that this movie is trying to say that it does say. We're talking, like I said, the female experience, societal pressures for, conventional attraction, the values, like this, the norms and the world, the society we live in, valuing norms and looks over authenticity. This movie accomplishes that. Like, I do think that.
I don't think so. I think this movie makes all the women look bad, except I think the only one that's innocent is Annie, the little black girl, because she is experiencing, like, I mean, she doesn't know it, but it seems like a racial like inner turmoil because she's being raised by a white woman, and she's a little black girl, and she is getting rid of her natural features like her curly hair and I don't know, I can't remember other whatever, and she's doing that because she's like, oh, I don't look, if you're a black woman, you have an afro, you look like a clown. Like, that's because she's raised in a different household, and obviously not the way you should think, but that's the way she thinks. And I don't think it works for the other women because the mom, like, her only caring about losing weight for liposuction, she's a bad mom. Like, she's not a good person. Like, she's not a bad person, but she's a bad mom. She doesn't give a fuck about her kid, really. All she cares about is the liposuction. And then the lady who tells everyone to fuck off, she's like,
why do you assume she doesn't care about her kid at all?
Because all she cares about in this movie is the liposuction. Even the kid is there being like, Mom, why are you here? Like, I'm worried for you. And she's like, take her out of here. Take her out. Like, you're not going to explain to your kid, make your kid feel better, like, do anything when she's worried about you being in the hospital. You're just like, get out, take the kid out of here.
Well, you tell me parents have never been short with kids before. It means they don't care about their kid at all.
She doesn't her in whole the moments character, that we see.
But it's not like the movie takes place over a long period of time. I think we're seeing her at a point in her life where You tell me the movie is not conveying her uh contention with her body as she ages, and the fact that she is so hyper focused on liposuction and not able to fully pay attention to her kids is not just a direct result of her as a victim in a society that is pressuring older women, especially at this period of time, to look younger, to change their bodies, that they can't have wrinkles, they can't be fat, you know what I mean? Like it is a big problem, and it is unfortunately something that people get very caught up in. They get, conscious of the
Right.
self-conscious.
It gets the message across that there are societal standards, but it doesn't do anything for the characters, in my opinion, because it makes half of them assholes. And if the societal standard is going to make you an asshole, am I supposed to feel bad for you? Like, I don't feel bad for the woman who has societal standards and she ends up like statutory raping a kid. Like, I don't care.
Well,
like,
that part, I mean, there's a reason I don't give this a 10 out of 10. All right, hold on. I don't know about what was going on there.
It's like, yeah, there's societal standards, and I feel bad that those exist, but I don't feel bad for you.
You shouldn't feel bad about that. I didn't say you should not feel. When they said he was 17, I thought he was supposed to be like 20 or 19.
I thought he was 20 also, and just going to the bar, and then they're like, he was a kid. I was like, that can't be right.
Anyway, no. I feel like that's, besides that, and I don't think anyone in this movie does anything so unforgivable that wasn't a direct result of these societal pressures that are very clearly placed on them. Like, that's like saying a poor man who steals bread to feed his family and gets arrested, you shouldn't feel bad for him because it's his fault for choosing to steal bread, but not the fault of like, I know you're gonna be like, well, maybe it's his fault that they're poor. Let's assume that it's because he's come on rough times, like the Great Depression, and it's not his fucking fault, and he steals bread to feed his family. Should you not feel bad for him? Even if he gets caught, like, oh, well, it's his fault for stealing bread?
Well, I don't think that's a good example, because her being skinny has nothing to do with her family. If he steals a car because he wants a fancy car because men are supposed to have nice cars and gets arrested, I'm not going to feel bad for him because he didn't give a shit about his family. If that's the only day of his life that I see is him trying to fit in with society and it makes his family worse off because she spent $10,000 and is in the hospital and is not taking care of her kid, if that's the only day of your life that I see, I'm going to say you're a bad dad. You got arrested to look cool in society. You're a bad dad.
But I don't think, I mean, like, I don't think getting arrested for stealing a car, which is not an essential, like, I do think that,
but it's not essential to lose 10 pounds because she wanted to look good. That's the same thing. The car is a way of him looking cool.
Right.
Like, that doesn't help your family. Feeding bread is different because if you don't do it, your family will starve to death.
I think, I see your point, but I still think that a body image is not the exact same as, like, having a car, like,
right.
We're all pretty, to a degree, we all care about how we look. So I don't think it's as hard to fault someone for that. Plus, they're not doing anything illegal in this case. Getting liposuction's not illegal like stealing a car. I only said bread. You're right. Maybe you make a good point. Not the greatest example, but it's the principle. This is, she's not doing anything illegal in this case.
Okay, well,
I don't feel bad.
Let's say he spends,
or I do feel bad that I can feel bad for her.
Let's say he spends $10,000 on a new outfit, and they don't really have $10,000 to spend. I mean, they don't look super rich, but I guess it's not really a point of contention in this movie. Let's just say he spends $10,000 on a new outfit and wants to look cool at work or a new suit or something like that. And all he gives a shit about is that new suit. And he does not really communicate with his child. He doesn't really want them to be involved. He's like, go away. If that's the only day I see, I can't say for sure that that's a good dad having a bad day. All I can say is what I saw, not a good dad that day.
Yeah, I think you're just making, I think to just that's generalizing.
Or a hair,
like,
let's say hair transplant.
Yeah,
maybe something more your speed.
I think
maybe a bald guy gets a hair transplant.
Bro.
And he spends but this is a body image. He spends his money on
but
it.
I just think in general, you're like, the thing is you're making a general assumption about someone based on, like, would you think it'd be fair to make a general assumption about you based on watching you in one day? Like, I don't think that that's really a fair.
But the thing is,
the
movie, it's fictional, so they're choosing to show us this day. So I have no other Like nothing, no other day really exists, if we're being real. Like no other day exists. This is the only day that exists. So if I'm being shown this, that's all I
Well,
have.
yeah, but I mean, it's not the only day that exists. It's the only day we see, but it exists within the context of the rest of what happens in the film. We only see one day at a time in our real life. That doesn't mean the other days don't exist.
Right, but it's the only day that was created for the film.
Right, that's the only day we see it in that film, but that's still context in film still matters.
But
The other
there's
days, things
no
happen in the other days still matter.
Sure, but there's no other info. Like I don't know if I show you Star Wars and I show you Kylo Ren like killing a bunch of people, but then he turns good at the end. Like you don't know that he's going to turn good, so you're going to assume he's a bad guy, right? But they'll be like, "Oh, actually, he's a good guy at the end."
Okay,
Like,
killing a bunch of people and telling your daughter to take your other daughter out of the room while you're getting liposuction is not comparable.
but I'm saying when you see one day and that's all you have to judge it off of that day.
Right, but is she even doing anything so bad that you can't just like? I get that, but
No, but she doesn't do anything
like,
good in this movie for me to be like, oh, society is so bad. I feel bad for her. Like, I feel bad that exists, but I don't feel bad for her.
But you are smart enough, Jack, as the viewer, to be able to recognize these things on their own that exist. You don't need the movie to spoon feed it to you.
Well, I don't know if any other day is different. What if every day is this mom only thinking about her body image and she doesn't give a fuck about her kid? I don't know. All I know is that that's what she did that day.
Even if that were the case, that doesn't change the fault in the character. You know, again, she is distracted because ultimately she is pressured. It doesn't make her a good or bad person necessarily. I think it's a little more nuanced than that, you know, because it's ultimately not her fault. It's not like she's abusive. Then it becomes a different story. She's like hitting her child or starving her child or things like that. But it seems like her kid is pretty well cared for, man, in this movie. Like she has her own internal struggles, but I don't know. I think it's a bit of a grasping at straws to say because we see her at this particular moment, suddenly she is a bad mother who we shouldn't feel bad for these societal pressures that are on her. And even then, that is more of a general theme that the story's trying to push through anyway, but I digress.
I don't think we have any proof of her. Like, I feel bad for the model lady because she seems like a good person. She takes care of dogs. Like that message gets across to me because she actually has good intentions and good actions. And she just is overcome by societal pressures. Every other character in this movie doesn't have any redeeming qualities. They're just either regular people who are flat and there's nothing good about them. There's nothing bad, but there's nothing good, or they do bad things. At least the model actor lady, she does good things in the day where you can be like, oh, she's a good person. I feel bad for her. But I think if this movie wanted to get the message across that society is like hurting good women, make the women like, I know that that's happening, but for the movie's message and the intent of the movie, make them good. Like show me that this is a good person. Because I mean, like, I'm not going to feel bad for a bad person for sure. And I'm like, if this person isn't, but
that feels like a bit of a double standard to me because I'm pretty sure there are definitely tons of examples of male characters that we can come up with. Like, I'm sure there are where it would be like, are they a great person? No, but you ultimately feel some kind of sympathy towards them or empathy. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we see some good characters, some bad. They all face the same pressures. They also come from different generations. I think the age gap is important to acknowledge in this movie as well. Maybe it makes sense that the older generation who faces these pressures would be a little harsher, you know, a little bit more of a shittier person. They've gone through it longer. They've had rougher parts of it. Like there is context here that, you know, looking at the film through different lenses, actually taking, you know, analyzing it and considering things that we know as the viewer, as the audience, like to be true, you know, maybe she's not the most likable character, but we can understand why she is the character she is.
It's an explanation, but it's not an excuse.
Right, but why do you need every character in a movie to be likable? The point of the movie still stands. That's what this whole debate began about. Does the movie make its point? The movie, I think, makes its point. You even described that it made its point in the one character.
What's the point? That societal standards exist?
That they put pressures on women that are double standards from the way we see with men, that it puts them in competition with one another. It showcases all of this. Yeah, I think it
Okay,
does so. And, I think it accomplishes that.
then it makes the point, but the point doesn't make me feel anything, because if the point was supposed to make me feel for these characters, like, the point is, yes, it exists and it happens. Sure, I guess that's a point. I mean, I could Google that, but like, it's not like, oh, it happens to good people, or this specifically, like actresses or models or mothers or family. Like, it doesn't make me feel anything. Like, the only thing that makes me feel anything is the black kid, because it's a racial inner turmoil which hurts her and her identity, and that's a specific example of things that happen to good children. I think that's an important message, that children are also affected by it, but everyone else is not redeeming enough for me to care about them. I care about that kid. I don't care about anybody else, really.
I don't think that every character needs to be redeemable for them to be able to showcase. You say yourself, the model. It's a great example.
Well, she's the only one I do, besides the kid, I actually do think that the point gets across. I think the other two are just not great people who not great things happen to because of society. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily agree, but it's interesting that we are debating more on this movie, which we are closer to in rating.
Yeah, well,
than
obviously
some other movies.
Yeah, because we have different reasons, I guess. So what didn't you like?
Well, the whole point I was starting with in the first place was that I think the movie accomplishes what it's trying to do. It just doesn't do it. It's very dull. It does it in a very bland way. There is nothing visually that stands out. Nothing, like super narratively, but like I said, it lacks like a visual identity of its own. It feels very dated, like the style of the filmmaking. Like, it's obviously, I know the film has come out in 2001, but I don't think it has aged. Like, I think that these thematic cores that I've explained obviously have aged well. There's still things we deal with, but I don't think like the actual production has aged super well. I don't
It's
think
filmed like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm or something.
Yeah, like I don't think that the performances really stand out. I don't think it even, like, that's why I'm like debating with you. It's not like I think that this film necessarily pushes the boundaries of these, societal themes, these aforementioned themes. Like, it does play a lot of it safe and dull, and it's just bland as a result. Like, it is boring as a result. It's kind of just like, all right, like, I get it. Like, the movie, the whole time I'm like, I get it, I get it, I get it. You know what I mean? But
that's how I felt. It's like, just do something with it.
It just was dull.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it was a movie that I watched, and as I was watching it, it was really hard for me to not go on my phone, but I did my best. It was, it just happened. Like, I don't like some interesting stuff, sure, but even the stuff that's like, when you're watching a show where you're connected to the characters and you're like, oh shit, she cheated on him. Oh shit, he was cheating on her the whole time. Like, that happens in this movie, but I don't feel that about these characters. I'm just like, oh, that's what's happening. All right. Like, that's it. Like, there's drama in this movie, but it's nothing for me that I connected with at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this time I more agree with you. There's a lot of times where that's what your whole thing is. You don't really feel for the characters. That seems to be your shtick. This time I'm somewhat more in agreement with you. I mean, it was just weird. I don't know. Like, again, I think it's good enough. That's why it's like a 6. I think it's a good enough movie. It makes its point. I think you can get something out of it. I like Catherine Keener. I do. I mean, obviously her character's weird as fuck in this movie, but I like her.
Yeah, I thought he was 20.
Yeah, I really thought he was like 19 or 20.
Yeah,
like,
she takes Jake Gyllenhaal to the bar, and obviously he's under 21, but they're like, oh, he's 22.
It's not like she thought, like, I would be like, oh, if she thought he was 19 or 20 as well, I'd be like, damn, like, he lied. I could see her thinking it was true. Like that's
because he
that's
looked.
kind
I
of
mean,
tough.
he looked older.
Yeah, he
so
looked
I
he looked
assumed,
old. Yeah, because he was. I don't think he was 17 at the time in real life. I
he
assume he
looked
was just
older.
playing down. He was just playing down.
Yeah, so it was, and then at the end, it's just like out of nowhere. Yeah, you're under arrest because he's underage, and instead of being like, "What? I had no idea." It's also she wasn't trying to keep it hidden. Like she was making out with him basically in front of his mom, even though she like still in public.
Well, I actually enjoyed the irony of that scene where it was showcasing like that age difference and like her internal struggle of like, naturally getting older, but trying to stay younger. Like that's why I have it a little higher than you. That's where we'll disagree. Like, I may not love the choices of all the characters, but I kind of see more in the characters. I just think the reason why I found it boring was that the whole production of it was fucking boring as shit. But I thought the characters themselves, it's not like the greatest character study. They're not the most interesting characters, but I saw the points in them. I saw these kinds of struggles play out in them. She's definitely, she's this artist. She's trying to, she doesn't want to get a real job. She's trying to date younger. I mean, she is struggling to accept moving on to next chapters of life, next stages of life. So I see that play out personally. Even though obviously though I don't feel bad for her for knowingly continuing to have a relationship with a minor. That part I don't feel bad for. But no, that's why I have it where I have it, because I do think that the movie, you can get something out of this, that there is something that maybe we don't resonate with here, but I wouldn't be surprised that if there's something here that women can resonate with. I mean,
any pedophiles in the audience?
All right, well,
you might resonate with this movie.
maybe that. I think there are a lot of young actresses that would resonate with this movie, or there are mixed families, where a black girl might resonate. Like,
for literally those two characters specifically, and of course the weight loss one, I'm sure people who resonate with.
I think there's, but even the Catherine Keener one, not the minor part, but the part I was saying with
she doesn't get a job, she wants to be
the struggling to accept moving on to other stages of life. I do think there is more. I don't think the characters are as flat. Like, I do think there is something there. I just don't think that they are very interesting characters. But I think if you look beneath the surface, I do think the movie does actually accomplish a lot with them, with this character study. So that's why I think it's at least a 6, like a borderline good enough movie. I just think that the production is boring. It's dated. They don't really actually tell us this stuff in an interesting way, which is why I think you also feel the way that you feel in a way. So that's why I think it's like barely a good enough movie. I liked the way, I know I said this before we went on air, I liked the way you described it. Boring as shit, but tolerable enough. That's what it is. It's tolerable. It's good enough. It's barely a good enough movie, I think, but I don't think it's aged super well.
Yeah, I was bored, but I didn't want to turn it off. I was like, I'm gonna get through this, and I was fine getting through it.
No. If it wasn't I'm going to call bullshit, Jack. If you didn't have to watch this for the Bible study, you're telling me you wouldn't have turned this movie off?
I would never have started it in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, fair, but like, let's say you did, and then you didn't have to finish it. Would you have actually finished it?
I think so, because I would have gotten like half an hour in before I'm like, that's kind of when I'll decide, like, I mean, I won't turn off movies anyway, but like, if I was going to turn off a movie, I would decide like within 20 to half an hour. And it's just only a 90-minute movie, so at that point, I probably would have just been like, fuck, I got an hour left.
Finish through, right? Yeah. So you could. No, all right, you know what? I respect that. There are definitely some where I would be like, nah. Like, if we, like, I mean, it wasn't a long movie either.
If it was 2.5 hours and I got half an hour in, I'm turning that shit off immediately.
Like, all right, yeah, Amoros Perros, you would have turned off.
Oh, yeah. The first five minutes, I'm turning that shit off.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
That's all I got.
That's all I got as well.
Let's move on.
That is lovely and amazing. It was lovely, but it probably wasn't amazing.
Yeah. Make sure to comment Bible study numbers for the next one. We'll be picking another one next week, so keep commenting.
Hell yeah. That is the Bible study. Let's move on to the box office numbers. They are numbers, and it is a box office, and we're going to go through them.
And we're the dynasty.
And we're the dynasty, folks. Hell yeah. These are the box office numbers from the weekend of August 14th through the 16th. Man, has the box office been exciting lately. You know, before we get into the actual, like, all the numbers, I feel like there's always something I want to highlight before I get into the actual numbers lately. But I just think you're going to find this really interesting. It has been, as you know, a crazy year in the box office in ticket sales. When the Odyssey tickets came on sale, it was insane, and Spider-Man Brand New Day was even bigger. You might not believe me, and that's okay. But this is coming straight from the mouth of the CEO of AMC, that the Dune Part 3 tickets went on sale yesterday for all formats, including IMAX 70mm. It was such insane traffic on the AMC sites. It was 3 times that of which they saw when Spider-Man Brand New Day dropped.
Whoa, dude. I want to say that can't be right, but he wouldn't lie about that. That's insane.
Straight from the mouth of the CEO, man.
Is Dune 3 making over $1 billion?
Here's what I'm wondering. And I'm not saying that this won't mean, I'm not saying this necessarily is bad for Avengers Doomsday. I certainly think it cuts into a bit.
Yeah.
But could we, for the first time ever, get 2 movies debut over $100 million domestically in the same opening weekend?
That, I think Avengers is totally going to do it. And after hearing that, I think it's totally possible.
It would also be one of the biggest openings for a sci-fi movie ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. 3 times more than Spider-Man. Insane.
Yeah.
Did you get your Dune tickets?
I did, man. It
Me
was
too.
not easy.
Yeah, people have been struggling. If you didn't get your Dune tickets, I'm sorry for you, honestly, because I don't know when those are going to be available again.
I am seeing Dune Part 3. I'm going to see it. It's basically the same thing that happened with the Odyssey, where I am probably going to see it opening night in my regular IMAX, and then I got a Monday evening ticket to see it in IMAX 70mm in the city.
Nice.
So I am, because I'm not going to wait till Monday to watch it, of course. I'm seeing that shit Thursday. Yeah. I'm seeing that shit on drop. But yeah, dude, I think I'm going to be seeing Dune Part 3 in IMAX 70mm.
That's
so it's going to be really fucking sick, dude. So I do my ticket.
I'm seeing Doomsday the Friday and then Dune the Saturday. So
you know, I am. You know what I'm tempted to do? I am very tempted to do them on the same day. But again, it's Monday. That's the only thing I was like, dude, how cool would it be if I like called out of work and went and saw Doomsday?
Yeah.
And then in like Dolby at Lincoln Square, and then went up to the 70mm theater and watched Dune Part 3. How fucking insane would that be?
That would be a great day, dude. And like, yeah, you can't wait till Monday though, because the spoilers are going to be immediate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm even nervous about waiting till Friday and Saturday to see those movies.
So nor do I even want to wait till Monday. And I'm not super excited for Doomsday, but I want to see it.
You want the full experience either way.
Yeah, I want to. Maybe I'll love it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll hate it. Maybe somewhere in between. But I want to see it as soon as possible. I want to see for myself. Yeah, I'm probably going to see Dune that Thursday. Like, I'm seeing Dune as ASA motherfucking
Yeah, you're going to be seeing
P.
that with a full-on boner, dude. I know you are.
And then Friday, I'm probably going to see Doomsday. And then that Monday, I'll see Dune again in IMAX 70mm.
Awesome, dude. That's a good weekend. I'm very excited.
Yeah, man, I'm very excited.
I got my tickets.
Anyway, all right, we were doing box office. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Box office numbers, August 14th through the 16th. Here are your top 5. Let's do it, folks. In 5th place, in its opening weekend of release with just under $4 million, a smidge under $4 million, Cat's Eye Wild Hearts. I believe this is a concert film. Oh, it's a behind-the-scenes film of Cat's Eye, the band. So
okay,
yeah,
don't care one bit about that.
Well, I didn't think you would.
It's not my
Wasn't
style.
on my bingo card.
Yeah.
In fourth place, something I know you care very much about, and its opening weekend of release, over $20 million, 20.2, Paw Patrol, the Dino movie.
I do love Dino movies.
How, dude, this was a big weekend for Dino movies.
I know. Not the number one Dino movie this weekend.
Not the number one. How, isn't that crazy? It's actually not the number one Dino movie this weekend. What the
wild.
fuck? But it is our number one Dino movie this
True.
weekend. I loved it. In third place in its opening weekend of release with $21 million, the opening or the number one Dino movie this weekend, The End of Oak Street, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. In second place in its fifth weekend of release with another $23.6 million domestically is The Odyssey, still holding on very, very, very strongly. The Odyssey is now currently at $508.7 million in the U.S. alone. It is at it is just shy of $1.3 billion. It is the highest grossing IMAX film of all time, and it passed Deadpool and Wolverine to become the highest grossing rated R film of all time.
That's awesome.
Records continue to be broken, folks, week after week.
That's really cool. And it deserves it, 100%.
Yeah, 1.3. It could probably finish around $1.6 billion, at least, like when all said and done.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? And in first place in its third weekend of release, with another staggering $70.7 million, Spider-Man Brand New Day. And we have more records to talk about with this movie. I mean, it continues to be a behemoth in the box office.
Oh, yeah.
It has become the fastest film in history to pass $700 million domestically and has the chance to become the highest grossing movie of all time in the United States.
It's up there, dude. I can't wait.
It has now grossed, as I said, over $2 billion. It is over $2 billion at the worldwide box office. $2 billion. It is the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time, the highest grossing comic book movie of the decade, the second fastest film to achieve this milestone, and the first solo superhero film to achieve this milestone. Tom Holland is expected to earn over $100 million from this movie. That includes a $20 million salary and the bonuses out of the box office. Spider-Man Brand New Day continues to swing through the box office, breaking records.
Bro, imagine getting a paycheck for $100 million. Holy shit.
What's the first thing you would buy?
Probably a better camera from the BOD.
Yeah,
dude, we got to rent out a
studio.
Yeah,
a studio.
We'd have to get like a studio in Queens or something.
For sure. Okay, Spidey.
We have to. Well, all right, fine. The studio where I am at. All right, fine. The studio will be at my
where
house.
You are
have
at.
to come here.
No, we're going to Manhattan, man. We're going in the heart of it, dude.
I don't have to drive to Manhattan every week, bro.
Good, you don't have to. You can take the train.
Fuck that. I have $100 million. I'm not taking the fucking train. I'll get airlifted there instead, dude.
What are you, LeBron, who's going to take the helicopter from New York to Philadelphia every day?
I'll take the BOD private jet.
It's like Air Force One. We get like Air Force 27 or something like that. Air Force 21. Yeah, man, Spider-Man Brand New Day, $2 billion. Where do we think it's going to finish? If we think Odyssey is like 1.6, maybe 1.7, like where is Brand New Day go to?
Like, I wanted to reach 2.5, but I'm going to say 2.4. I think it's going to finish with.
So I was going to, okay. Do you think it will be the all-time worldwide highest grossing movie? Do you think it'll break the record?
What's the record?
Right now, it is currently Avatar again, $2.923 billion.
I see. It's so cheap because that was on a re-release too, right?
Well, in all fairness, Endgame has done the same shit. They kept doing it back and forth.
Right, but like beating the record should be initial release.
I'm just saying it's it's just lifetime gross. Films can be re-released and earn a bigger, more money. It's still money that the film earned. It's over its lifetime.
I would like
it's
it
just
too,
considered lifetime gross.
But because of the re-release, however hundreds of millions it got from that, I don't think it will.
I mean, Endgame is going to get a re-release later this year, next month actually.
Yeah, but Spider-Man won't. So that's what I'm
and
saying.
Endgame is going. Well, okay. Do you think Spider-Man can get the record before Endgame comes back out?
Well, it won't beat 2.9.
No,
I don't think it's
okay,
going to beat
that's true.
Avatar.
Not in that time.
No, I don't think it'll beat Avatar unless in a couple years from now, or maybe next year or 2 years, Spider-Man gets a re-release. Then maybe it'll beat it. But because of Avatar's re-release, it won't beat it.
Okay. I would think more because of the Endgame. I don't even. Avatar. I think the last time it got re-released, I guess, was last year.
Yeah.
All right, and then last thing I want to ask you: can you guess the 8 movies that have made $2 billion or more at the box office? It is only 8.
8?
It is 8
Okay.
movies.
Well, I'm gonna say Endgame, Avatar,
Yeah.
Way of Water,
Yes.
Titanic,
Yes.
Force Awakens,
Yes. That's 5.
Brand New Day.
6.
I don't think Fire and Ash did. I'm gonna say Fire and Ash.
Nope.
Yeah, didn't think so. And it's not No Way Home. Infinity War?
Yep, that's 7. I don't know if you'll get the last one, but you know it.
Is the last one The Last Jedi?
No.
It's not, is it Rise of Skywalker?
The last one is not Star Wars, Avatar, or Marvel.
Is it a franchise or no?
Technically, but not one we watch.
Give me a hint. I'm not gonna get it.
It's the only one on here that's not a Hollywood movie, but it came out.
Oh, Neja 2.
Yep, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Neja 2.
Forgot
yeah.
about that one.
Yeah. Those are the only 8 movies ever to make $2 billion or more at the box office.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Spider-Man Brand New Day is the 8th $2 billion film of all time.
Yeah, Dune and Doomsday. I mean, I don't think Doomsday's gonna hit that, but it'd be kind of crazy if Dune 3 hit that.
Oh, dude, no fucking way Dune gets $2 billion. I would fucking come all over the place, dude.
Your
if
keyboard
Dune
would be the
3
screen.
Bro,
Dude.
it'd be sticky. I'd be like, my hands would be on the camera like this and all. Like it'd be a problem.
When I was at the movies watching End of Oak Street last weekend, there was, you know, when the lights go out and the screen turns on, but it's just like white on the screen for a second.
Yes, I guess.
Someone put their feet in front of the projector, and all you could see were their toes, like the shadow of their toes wiggling in front of the projector.
Not the little piggies.
Yeah, it was like a teenager who was doing it on purpose, and he goes, "Oh shit!" and he puts them down. It was really funny.
That's pretty funny. I'd like to think he wasn't even doing it on purpose. I'd like to think that this was just a teenager. Like,
no, he was, because he was sitting up by the projector, like on the railing, not even in a seat. And then I was like, does this kid not have a seat? And then he did that. And then once the movie started, he went to a seat. So I was like, he totally did it on purpose.
What an intelligent individual.
Yeah, he was kind of pissed me off during the movie, but it's fine.
It's like, imagine he's going to like fucking Harvard or something in the fall.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
Oh shit, my feet.
Oh shit, my fucking toesies.
It was funny. Let's get to reviewing.
All right, so those are your box office numbers. Congrats to Spider-Man and the Odyssey, of course. Let's talk about the End of Oak Street, which also had a great first weekend, and we're gonna talk about the movie itself. So spoilers ahead for the End of Oak Street. Here are our ratings and reviews.
I give it 8.7 Starbucks out of 10.
I give it, what do I want to give it exactly? I give it like, I guess 8.5 phone booths out of 10.
Okay, a lot closer than I thought we'd be. I like it.
Interesting. I'm surprised you feel that way.
I kind of thought I would like this movie a lot more than you. And 8.7 and 8.5 are really good. It's not like I dislike the movie. I thought it was great. I had so much fun with it. I think the movie really excels with the mystery in the first half of it. I think that's when like the mystery. I mean, we all knew, if you saw the trailer, you know what's happening. But just the characters slowly figuring out what's happening was really fun, and it was really tense also, because it's like I'm waiting for a dinosaur to pop out of somewhere. And I thought it was really well done. And I thought when the dinosaur showed up, it was cool. And it's was fun, and it was some cool stuff, but I really liked the beginning part mostly.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you didn't think I would really fuck with it.
I don't know, because I have problems with it that I'm kind of electing to ignore in my score because I had so much fun with the movie. So I thought those problems would bother you more than they bothered me.
Well, we'll see. I thought The End of Oak Street was a phenomenal homage to this like bygone era of these like 80s like zany family fun like adventure films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking what was that one oh god, I mean there's so many. It was with the girl from Back to the Future.
You're losing me.
I'm sure I am.
It felt very Spielberg-y too.
Well, it's very inspired, obviously, by Steven Spielberg. It's very Spielbergian in nature.
It's like E.T.
Elizabeth
mixed
Shue,
with
duh.
E.T. mixed with Jurassic Park.
Adventures in Babysitting. All right, I was
Never
like,
heard of it.
I wasn't gonna let it go. Reminds me of the movie Adventures in Babysitting almost. Like I don't know why, I was just really getting that vibe from it. Yeah, it is like I said, it's zany, it's fun, it's quirky, it's Spielbergian. It's a great summer blockbuster. Like I think it's a movie that the whole family can go see and have fun. And it really, like I said, it's just like a bygone era kind of movie. I think it has like it offers this welcome blend of like this lighthearted campiness that we get throughout the film. It never takes itself too seriously, but it does mix it, it blends it well with like this genuine tension, this real horror element that exists with the dinosaurs, and you know the way that they're shot, the way they sneak up on the characters, almost how like quiet they lurk around in a way. Like it 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 really, I think, is blended well. Like you have moments where you're having fun, you have moments where you're feeling tense. It's a good thriller. I fell in love with it. I think it's a great summer blockbuster, actually.
Yeah, I also love the variety of animals and dinosaurs that they use, because like you're in prehistoric times, it's not just going to be a T-Rex and velociraptors, right? You have the giant snake in the pool in the backyard, which was so
Yeah.
cool, and then it slithers in.
So when that scene when he's sliding through the house,
crazy,
I
dude.
loved it.
It was
I
so
was like,
good.
holy fucking shit.
Every time, like, turn around. This whole movie, turn around, dude. It was so cool. And, you know, the pterodactyls, and you have the little crocodile things in the librarian's house that were fucking crazy. It was just a really cool variety of prehistoric animals, which was really fun to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I didn't mind the absurdity of the premise because I think the film, like I said, it never takes itself too seriously, so that I don't think it becomes a problem.
I agree.
Like, the neighborhood was transported randomly to prehistoric times due to some cosmic event. Like, yeah, it's not exactly the most thoughtfully written premise. It's very absurd and abstract, but they have enough fun with it, and Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor do a good enough job leading it that I don't think it really matters. Like I was not bothered by that.
I agree. They were like, "Oh, there's a portal back," and I was never once like, "That's stupid." I was like, "Yeah, that's what happens in this." Like, it reminded me of
what happens.
That's what happens. Obviously,
that's what
there'd
happens.
be you know, you got teleported to prehistoric times. Obviously, there'd be a portal back. You know, it reminded me of like Zathura or Jumanji, where it's like all this crazy, wacky shit happens, and there's no real scientific explanation. It's like, this is what happens. This is what's going on. Deal with it. And then at the end, it's like, there's no real repercussions, which is, I mean, there are, but not like for the main characters at least. And it's like, because of the way this world works, things can kind of go back to normal a little bit at the end. And I like that. I was like, this makes perfect sense for this movie and for this plot, which I thought was great.
I don't even think things necessarily like go back to normal at the end of this movie. I think it's just like where we end off. Like, this is all we need to see now. Right,
exactly. It's like the family's fine, and there's a version of the dad that fucking dies, but like this version is alive.
Okay, and I want to talk about that for a minute. I actually really liked when that happened at first. I didn't expect it in that moment. I didn't think they had the balls to kill one of Ewan or Anne Hathaway off.
I did not know the movie was not pulling its punches like that.
So even when the leg was bitten off, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're gonna drag him out of here, I thought.
Yeah. And then he just gets chomped on. He becomes the dino's dinner.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. I didn't love what they did there at the end.
Really?
It
could be a cop out, but I liked it.
I was fine with it. It was like you said, that is what happens. Like I was fine enough with it, I guess, but I just didn't love it. Cause like I said, I do think that the movie does leave enough room for real emotional nuance on top of the adventure, family film. I don't know. I think it would have made for a more satisfying ending for them to truly reckon with the consequences of the events of what happened. Like,
you're not wrong.
I don't know. It just did feel a little cop out ish to me.
Yeah, you're not entirely like I like the ending. You're not wrong though, because a part of me was like, oh, so their marriage is just like resolved now because she knows what it's like for him to die, and like that's kind of like a cop out. It's like, oh, all these marital problems that they had, like she wanted to leave the whole family. It's like, oh, because he died, she realizes that's what life would be, and then doesn't want to leave him. But I thought that was kind of dumb. But I liked him being alive at the end. But what I didn't like is how there are like two. What's that girl's name? The girl who joins them. Her family's like dead, and she's like lesbian with the sister. I can't remember her name, but
Jeanette.
Jeanette goes off into the town, and I was like, oh shit, she's gonna get teleported back. There's gonna be two of them in prehistoric times. But then it's revealed that the mom must have called like 30 people in the span of 20 minutes, and they all somehow escaped the town. Like the librarian, the neighbor, the other neighbor, the old lady, Jeanette's whole family. Plus now there's two Jeanettes, which was weird. Like that was strange. There's two Jeanettes at the barbecue.
I didn't mind. Yeah, well, that was strange. I didn't mind the calling thing as much because, well, all right. Obviously, it doesn't make sense. Like, here's the thing.
It does make
obviously,
sense.
She wouldn't save those people if she's not going to save her husband. So I get, that you can't have that and not the husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to rationalize it, man. I don't even know. Like,
she called like at least 5 people. And at the end, when they're waiting for the husband to pull up, there's still like 3 minutes left. So let's just say
it's fine.
In 27 minutes, she called 5 people. How did the last person she called, let's just say she has like 10, 15 minutes left, get the fuck out of there in time?
Well, how long does it really take to just hop in your car and speed out?
But you got to convince these people. They're talking for at least a minute or two. Like, you got to drive. It's the middle of the night. You got to drive out of town. You're going to get teleported away. Like, it's going to take a couple minutes of convincing, I think.
Well, especially if it's a neighbor that if a neighbor you knew very well called and screamed in the middle of the night that you have to leave before you get teleported to prehistoric times, like, you'd probably take them up on it, right?
I could see the librarian and the old lady, but what about the neighbor who's just like shooting his gun on the roof?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I kind of felt bad for him though when he was just getting
torn apart.
Yeah, he got fucking torn apart at the end there.
I did think the deaths in this movie were well done. There's just something that you mentioned that you liked, and I didn't like was the dinosaurs sneaking. What I love about Jurassic Park is the weight of the dinosaurs, and one of the most iconic things is the T-Rex stomping and the water shaking. And to me, it felt so fake when the dinosaurs were moving, and there was no feeling of weight to them. Like they were just sneaking around. You're like 1,000 pounds and you're sneaking around. Unless the plot needed you to make a stomp, then it would. But it just felt like, I don't think the dinosaurs are real in Jurassic Park, but they felt more real when they did have weight to them. When they don't, I'm like, this is so obviously CGI. Because I didn't think the CGI looked great in the first place. And then adding no weight to them physically just didn't help it at all.
I get what you're saying. I don't know that I really completely agree or even are bothered if it is the case by it. But like, I mean, I like the sneakiness because it adds to the suspense. Like, I think it is a better way for them to build more actual genuine suspense with the dinosaurs. It's like the idea of the lurking monster. I mean, Jurassic World Rebirth did this even, like we talked about Jurassic with the weight, like even they did it with, in the new one there when the dinosaur with the raft scene.
With
Do you
the
remember that?
raft.
When they're like,
With the T-Rex.
yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that was dumb because I was like, we established a whole continuity where T-Rexes are stomping.
Well, he's also sleeping in that moment, to be fair.
Yeah,
So
but
how much noise is he making?
My whole thing is like, you can do that with the tension and suspense and stuff. Just don't use a Spinosaurus to do it. Use a Velociraptor or use the snake. Because when the snake sneaks up, I thought that was awesome. Because that makes sense.
Right, but it's also, I mean, yes, but it's also scarier when it's the bigger dinosaurs, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, I just don't think that was a problem for me.
It just bothered me a little bit, but I did love this movie. I
think that it's
an all-time dinosaur movie, man.
It's the best dinosaur movie we've gotten in quite a few years.
Yeah, a lot.
I don't know why it's been so hard. I don't think it's that hard to make an entertaining dino movie.
I've been asking for a rated R dinosaur horror movie for years, dude, and we're probably never gonna get one that's like well made. But this is really good.
This was really good. Like I said, Anne Hathaway's really, and Ewan McGregor are both great, but especially Anne Hathaway. She's actually really good in this movie. What a year she's having, dude. I mean, that's 4 out of 5 now. Mother Mary, Devil Wears Prada 2, The Odyssey, and The End of Oak Street. And I've enjoyed all of them, and there's just one more to go with Verity coming out later this year. So hopefully we get 5 for 5, in my book at least 5 for 5.
She's 2 for 3 for me. I liked End of Oak Street and Odyssey. I did not like Mother Mary one bit.
You got to watch the Prada movies just so you could say that you saw all 5 of the Devil Wears Prada movies.
Yeah.
Or all 5 Anne Hathaway movies.
I also thought The Son was really good too. Like when the dad dies, his reaction was really good.
My main slime, Odysseus.
Yeah. Why do you have a bow and you can't hit fucking shit?
No,
dude?
but I liked that. He's a kid. He's like, he obviously thinks he's heroic, but he can't. That's what I thought. That was actually a really good detail.
I loved him going after Starbuck. I don't care. Him and Starbuck's relationship was so cute to me. And Starbuck comes to the rescue and worried the shit out of me that I was so scared he was going to get hurt. And I'm so glad he didn't.
Oh, also, when Starbuck came back to rescue him, my theater literally erupted in applause.
Oh, mine did too, dude. Everyone was losing their mind.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
No, man, I liked it. I liked the score of the movie, the music.
The score was great.
It's really tone setting. Like that. To me, the score of a film is very important. It's almost always going to come back to that, setting the tone of the film. Music makes or breaks it. Like, I think any filmmaker with half a mind will tell you that music makes or breaks the movie,
and it was really good. How do you think the Ewan McGregor's character Greg feels when his kids and mom are like, "Yo, remember that time like a dinosaur ate dad?" And then he's like, he's like, if you think about it, after their experience, like he doesn't know any of that shit, and he's just there. And it's so weird. It's like a weird disconnect from your family that they all experience like this trauma that they all totally need therapy for. And he's totally fine.
I was thinking the same thing when the movie first ended. I was like, so how are they going to explain all that to him? Yeah.
And the mom writes, I'm like, even Anne Hathaway, like she realizes they're good together and doesn't want to get divorced or whatever because they went through this traumatic experience together. But I wouldn't be surprised if the dad was like, you still fucking suck. Like, I didn't go through any of this stuff and I still hate you. Like, if the dad was like, I didn't change my mind, nothing changed for me.
But I don't think he ever wanted to leave her. I think it was always she wanted to leave him.
Yeah, and that's what pissed him off. But he was also alcoholic, bad dad, you know?
Yeah, well...
That's why she wanted to leave, I guess.
I don't think he was... Again, same thing we were talking about with Lovely and Amazing. I don't think he's just straight up a bad dad. I mean, he's also working multiple jobs trying to put food on the table for his kids.
Not bad dad. I do think he's not a great husband, but him...
Oh, that's a different story.
Yeah,
he's lying to his wife.
I take that back.
He's drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he was a bad dad.
No, he was a good dad. He was doing it all for his kids, and he died for his wife too. So I guess he's not the worst husband.
No, he's not the worst husband.
Yeah,
he's a loving husband, but he was not. He was a loving but lacking husband. How about
Agreed.
that?
But I wasn't even surprised because this has been my seesaw for like the last 3 weeks. I was so excited for this movie.
Because you can't come up with anything else. So you're like, End of Oak Street.
Yeah. I'm glad that I enjoyed it. I was hoping I wasn't setting myself up too high.
Hmm.
I think it's in my top 5 or 10 of the year. I loved it. And I'm glad you enjoyed it too.
Yeah, man. No, it's a good movie. I liked it a lot. I actually liked it more than the Avatar Aang movie that
Me
came
too.
out. So, that goes to show where it is. And it's pretty close for me with Brand New Day, to be fully honest. They're right
Wow.
next to each other on my ranking, but I do have Brand New Day ahead of it. And I might put Brand New Day one spot further, like ahead.
Okay.
I've been considering that. But they are very close. I think that I've enjoyed all the movies from this month for me so far that I've seen are pretty close in my ranking. And this one's right in the middle. I think it's, like I said, great summer blockbuster, perfect for this time of year, a lot of fun, great energy. The whole family can enjoy it. There's emotional nuance, there's fun action, there's dinosaurs. Ewan McGregor gets his fucking leg chomped off. It's a good time.
Yeah,
Worth seeing in the theaters.
for sure. And if you guys want to check out our 2026 release date or release lists on Letterboxd, we rank every movie that comes out in 2026. Follow us at Jack Maloney, at Josh Omasho. End of Oak Street is on there. So,
Oh, before I just wanted to say,
Mhm.
speaking of new movies and End of Oak Street, it's not my seesaw, and I'm not doing a full review. I just wanted to stab it in here because it is very similar to the End of Oak Street, in my opinion. I went home that night and I actually watched The Last House, which you watched recently,
Oh yeah, I saw you hated that shit.
because I was like, oh yeah, well they're pretty similar. It's like a family and they're like trapped and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
They both just came out, so I was like, all right, let me watch it, and it fucking reeked, dude.
Oh
It was
no.
like it was it was like the Timu version of the End of Oak Street, in my opinion. It was the
Damn.
it was the End of Oak Street, but everything that made the End of Oak Street good and interesting gone.
You didn't like
Like,
all the squid people?
no, dude, what the fuck
Yeah, that was
even
really
was
dumb. That
that?
was
That was so
stupid.
stupid. Holy shit. I thought this movie was a massive waste of Wagner Moore and Greta Lee, dude. And maybe again, I don't know if you think that it just feels very similar to Oak Street to me.
It's just like a family disaster where you have to
Family
stay in your
disaster.
house,
Yeah. So,
hide from
and
shit.
both of them coming out pretty much at the same time doesn't help.
Yeah.
So maybe the comparison also makes me like, maybe I'd rewatch it at some point and be like, yeah, maybe it was a little hard. Like, it's okay at first. It sets up the premise well enough. But I thought it was just whereas I thought the End of Oak Street, just to keep it relevant to Oak Street, whereas I thought that film was like really cleverly written and directed by
Mhm.
David Robert Mitchell, who we didn't shout out at all, but shout out David Robert Mitchell,
Did a
who
good
did a
job.
phenomenal job with the writing and direction. I felt where it exceeded in that The Last House was like so embarrassingly written that
Ye-
it felt like it was talking down to you, to the point where I almost feel like it was just like disrespectful to the audience. Like I did not like this movie, man. I'm not really doing a review. I just wanted to stab it in with the Oak Street
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Well,
I went home and watched it and did not fuck with it.
I think a huge difference is that End of Oak Street doesn't take itself seriously, which we mentioned before. But Last House is like, it's this really cool idea, like End of Oak Street is, and but they're like taking it way too seriously. And also, how do we explain it? Oak Street explains it extremely well in this crazy, whatever cosmic event. And Last House is like, I don't know, fucking sea monsters. I don't fucking know.
The fucking rain.
The
It's
rain trapped them.
the rain
They
traps
could
us
have
in.
easily
How
just
the
said it's some cosmic thing happening and you're trapped and you just survive with your family. And like, that's it. But they had to do a whole, like, it's all about the earth. I don't know.
Actually,
It was a
most
bad
brain dead
explanation.
thing I've ever seen, dude. I actually felt like I was getting stupider while I was watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It was pretty ridiculous.
Well,
Would not recommend.
I'm going to quickly review X-Men 97 Season 2. Season 2 just finished last week. So here's my spoiler-free review of X-Men 97 Season 2. Just because I know you haven't seen it yet, and I will push for you to see it. So I give X-Men 97 Season 2 7.5 timelines out of 10. There's a big question mark on timelines. I'll praise the animation. The animation is always phenomenal, especially with certain characters like Nightcrawler or Morph. They all look so good. Cyclops, his beam always looks fucking cool. it's the I like the isolated storylines. They do some character focused storylines. Season 1, 9.5 out of 10. Fantastic. The only bad episode is the one character focused episode, which I don't like. That's a Jubilee episode. In this one, there's a Wolverine episode, which is awesome, and there's a Nightcrawler episode, which is like the standout episode. It's really, really good. And the overall stuff didn't really hit for me. The overall arc, it's all about Apocalypse. Apocalypse is the villain. Confusing. They don't explain shit. I'm a comic book reader. I haven't read too much X-Men personally. But everything I've read with X-Men hasn't really included Apocalypse, so I don't really know Apocalypse that much. They don't explain shit. They are like, yeah, this is a timeline and this is a timeline and nothing matters because Apocalypse is here and he's also in this one and Cable is here and he's in this one, and it's very confusing. They don't explain anything. They kind of expect you to know everything, and it's not handled well. I think season 1 was handled perfectly, or almost as perfect as you can get. They just had one mid episode. Season 2, 7.5. Again, I love these characters. I love their interactions. They're like a family. I mean, they're a fucked up family. But I don't love the way the season goes. It was just very confusing. As much as I recommend this show, I do think season 2 was a letdown to me because Apocalypse is the big bad of the X-Men. He's like the Thanos of the X-Men, as far as I know. And it was just a letdown. They're setting up season 3. Season 3 is going to be more timid, I think, than season 2 because season 2 was supposed to be the big bad. And it just wasn't what I was hoping. Great show. And this was a fine, tolerable season, 7.5 out of 10. But I just had higher expectations.
So you like season 1 better, it seems.
Season 1 is one of the best things Disney has put out since they've had Marvel. One of the best things they've ever created. If I was ranking MCU, it'd be top 5. Season 1. Season 2 is just mid. It's like Iron Man 3 level, first Avenger kind of thing. It's just right in the middle. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's not what you want out of a show that had great stuff. The stuff they do with certain characters is cool, but besides that, I mean, there's definitely really good emotional moments. Like shit happens. They're like, I literally was like tearing up because it's very impactful, but to not explain, and maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm just dumb, dude, because my whole biggest complaint is I don't know what the fuck is going on. And usually I feel like I pick up on the comic booky stuff really well, or I don't really need an explanation. But for this, I just think they did the fans a disservice by being like, yeah, this is what's happening. We're not going to tell you how we got here. We're not going to tell you where it's going. It's just this. And it's like, oh, Apocalypse can do this now. Oh, Apocalypse is actually from this timeline. Nope, he's actually in the future. Oh no, this character is actually in the future, but somehow this character went back to the past. They don't explain how a character is in 2 timelines at once. They're not explaining why certain characters are in certain spots. They're not explaining what one of the main X-Men just gets like these insane powers out of nowhere because she walks into a fucking hole in the wall. It's weird. It's insane. There's a gem that's like a huge part of an episode where someone's like, I'm going to put this gem inside you, and they do it. And then the next episode, they just like take the gem out and break it, and nothing happened with the gem. I don't know what the fuck that gem even was. So I'm very confused. It wasn't like an Infinity Stone or something. It was just like a red gem. Again, confusing, but it's a great show overall. So I still recommend it. Season 3, I think they're going to tone it down a little bit. Season 1 level. So I'm excited for that. That's my review.
Yeah. I mean, I always like hate when, these like superhero things, the comic book adaptations try to maintain the same level of organized chaos that the narrative of comic book stories have.
Yeah.
And you just that doesn't translate to the screen the way it works on the page.
No.
You need a little more structure. And so sometimes you have these connected universes, or in this case, it's a show, but you have all these characters they're balancing. So sometimes, especially if I don't know if the writers of the show are like generally comic writers or something, but sometimes they can fall back into those comic writing tendencies. And then when you're watching it play out like on the screen, it just doesn't register the way that it would when you're reading it on the page. So it sounds like that was maybe a bit of the problem. Like, oh, they're trying so hard to make it like the comics and make it play out like the comics, that it's just written to a T, and that's not how you still have to adapt it to work for the screen.
Yeah, and it doesn't help. Like, that's why the isolated episodes of Nightcrawler and Wolverine were my favorites of the season. But it doesn't help that X-Men 97 is technically a continuation of the 90s show.
That's what I was going to ask. So it's just the same show, technically?
But season one...
It's kind of like Daredevil?
Season one... Yeah, it's kind of like Daredevil, but Daredevil does it in a way where you don't need to watch the first one. And season one of X-Men 97 did that also, where they'll, like, reference brief things. And it's like, oh, you know, Cyclops and Jean, they have a past. And, like, Wolverine did this mission a while ago, but it doesn't have anything to do with the plot. But in season two, Professor X is like, we fought Apocalypse before. I know what he can do. And it's like the first episode. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what do you mean you fought Apocalypse before? I should have watched the first show before I saw this. I was like, I was under the impression that it's a different show. I knew it was like a brief continuation, but I was kind of assuming they would understand that there are new viewers, but they're kind of assuming everyone knows everything about Apocalypse because he was in the show earlier, I guess.
Yeah,
so,
that's annoying.
It is annoying, but it's still a great show, and it was not a bad season by any means. I was just a little disappointed, but I definitely recommend watching it. And you could honestly stop at season one if you want, but season 3 looks like it'll be pretty good. Season 1 is absolute peak. Season 2 is fine.
All right. Well, hey, I will check it out at some point. Like I said earlier in the show, especially with the X-Men cast announcement, there is a bit of a rejuvenated motivation, you know, to eventually get to that one.
And it's easy. It's 10, 20-minute episodes, and I think season 2 is 9 20-minute episodes.
Length is not really the problem. It's just, I mean, I guess priority list. I don't know.
Motivation.
The problem with TV is there's always then new stuff coming out that I have like got to get to for the podcast and this and that. Like with TV, it's hard to just pick and choose. Like, I want to watch this, I want to watch that. You know, like I'm finally watching The Pit. You know what I mean? I kind of wish I watched it when it was the big thing, but at the time there was other stuff coming out that I had to watch. So it's hard to juggle with TV, but we do our best, and I will watch it soon enough.
Mm-hmm. Let's finish off with our seesaw, shall we?
Sure. I guess I'll go first, since you just did your X-Men review.
My rant.
Something I saw recently, I finished finally the Apple TV show Cape Fear on, like I said, Apple TV, starring Amy Adams, Javier Bardem, and Patrick Wilson. I gave the show like maybe 7.6, 7.7 out of 10. Look, whenever you got Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg backing your project, it's not going to be bad. Like, it's not going to be a bad watch. This is a good watch. It's an interesting reinterpretation of the Cape Fear stories. The original, I never saw the original film. I've seen the 90s film with De Niro, with, Scorsese. I think I always love Javier Bardem. Obviously, you've seen No Country for Old Men, so you've seen Anton Chigurh. You know how good he is in the villain role. He's very, very good at his Max Cady. I do wish the show unleashes him a little more, like Max Cady's supposed to be this violent, like psychopathic character. They kind of changed that a little bit in this to make him a little more of a redeemable. He's a bad person, as you would say. I sound like you right now. He's a bad person, but like his backstory ultimately is a little more, at least, if not redeemable, understanding. That's, I think, the better way to go about it. Kind of like Thanos. It's not redeemable what he does, but you kind of get it.
Get where he's coming from.
Yeah. That's Max Cady. I ultimately think it gets to that point, but I prefer personally the just purely psychotic, violent, murderer.
That's right. You get your Thanoses and you get your Green Goblins,
Yeah, you do. I do feel like the story definitely kind of pedals in circles at times, but it's very Hitchcockian in nature, so I liked it. And something I want to see, kind of a spoiler from also before, I watched the first episode of Ted Lasso season 4, and my C is just basically the rest of it as it comes out over the next several weeks. Ted Lasso, I don't know, have you ever watched Ted Lasso?
Yeah, I watched the first episode of season 4 also.
Oh, okay, perfect. So there you go. I love this show. I was a little worried because I think it ended in a really great way with season 3, so I was a little concerned. And then I watched the first episode of season 4, And the first thing I thought of was, oh, they actually do have more story to tell here.
Exactly.
Like, that was my
too.
concern. I was like, well, there's no story left to tell in Ted Lasso. But no, there is. And I'm very excited to see where they go with it. It was actually a really good episode.
I agree. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, of course he would come back for this. Like, that makes so much sense.
But I like seeing him torn about it. I like seeing them. I like seeing them in Kansas City. I like seeing the setting like kind of flipped on its head from usually, obviously, it's in England. So I like kind of seeing that flipped around. And I like seeing him torn because the whole thing that led to season 3, Ted's whole thing has been his son, over the 3 seasons and working towards being with him again. So it wouldn't really be like Ted. You're right. He, of course, would go back, but he also wouldn't just go to AFC Richmond and like abandon his son again. So, I like seeing that. It was so well done. I'm very excited for the rest of season 4.
Yeah, I totally agree. My only issue is now, like, you already did the ending where it's like, I have to go back to see my son. Are you just going to do that at the end of season 4? Or whenever they actually decide to
because they go with him. They're going with him.
Oh, right.
Remember,
they want to go.
Them.
Right, you're right.
You know what I think? I was saying this to Matt and Brandon, actually, on our way to the Poconos. I think, so we got 3 seasons doing the men's team. I think we can get 3 seasons of him with the women's team, and then that's the end of the show. Like, that would be the definitive end of the show.
And then 3 more seasons of him with, like, coaching his son, little kids or some shit.
And
then 3 more seasons after that.
So I would take 3 seasons of him just working at the grocery store. Yeah, that was funny in itself.
That was cool. Something that I saw is I finished season 1 of White Lotus. That was really interesting. Spoilers ahead for season 1 of White Lotus. I thought the whole time, I was like, oh shit, Alexandra. Have you seen the show?
Yeah.
I thought Alexandra Daddario was like gonna die because the beginning's like, where's my wife? And then he looks out and there's the human remains going on. And I'm kind of like, I didn't want her to die, but my favorite character was Armand, the hotel manager. I was like, this guy's fucking crazy. This is like the biggest crash out ever. And it was sad that he died. I was unfortunate.
I thought it was great. But the hotel manager of season 2, you're gonna love.
I finished 1 episode of season 2, so far it's pretty good.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Yeah.
I like her.
That's the best season.
I still like Armand better. But I like Steve Zahn. I think Sydney Sweeney is fine. Alexandra Daddario is really great. Her asshole husband is really great. It was good. It was a good season.
It's a fun show. Jennifer Coolidge
is like,
as Tanya. I mean, she is
just a crazy person.
That's obviously an iconic character.
Yeah, and she's back in season 2, which is cool.
She is.
Repeat. I want to see Belinda. I need more Belinda. I heard Belinda maybe scattered around a little bit, which would be nice. And then something I want to see. I actually saw the first episode today, similar to you with Ted Lasso. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. New season came out last week, and they have 2 episodes out. I don't even know what season. It's like season 17 or 18.
I think it's 17. I think
it's up there. The first episode was fine. I didn't love it, but I'm hoping there's some bangers. Reading the titles makes me realize that there's gonna be some good episodes in this, and they're going back, I think, to 10 episode seasons. They've been doing 8 episodes the past like 7 or 8 years. I think ever since COVID, they started doing 8 instead of 10, and now they're going back to 10 episode seasons, which is nice. We get a little extra 2 episodes. So I'm excited to see Always Sunny. And even if it's like a bad or mid episode, it's still Always Sunny. So I'm going to like it or enjoy it or have a good time watching it. So I'm excited to see that.
I didn't even realize that was out. I'm going to have to watch.
I was scrolling today and I saw like a post on TikTok that was like a clip from one of the episodes. I was like, oh shit, is the season coming out soon? And I was like, there's 2 episodes out already. I was like, oh shit.
I'm surprised you didn't say Lanterns. I assumed that's where you were going with it.
I thought about it. I saw the first episode of Lanterns. Did you watch it yet?
Mm-mm.
It was really good, man. So I definitely would give that a shot.
I am.
We're obviously going to talk about it when it finishes, but Lanterns episode 1 was awesome, and I was very invested.
It's probably going to end up being what happened earlier this year with the boys and everything, where I just play catch up.
Well, if episode 1 is anything of what the future holds, you do not want spoilers for the show. So I'd proceed with caution.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, so thank you everyone for watching. We appreciate you, and this was fun.
Thank you for everyone for just a quick shout out. Thank you to everyone who follows us on our TikTok. We've hit 10,000 followers on our TikTok. So thank you to each and every one of you who follow. If you don't follow, you don't get to be a part of the thank you. But you know what you can do? You can go follow us on our TikTok, and then you add our Instagram, and then you can be part of our thank you.
That's for future thanks.
That's for future thank yous. Follow us on all our social medias, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere else that you can think of at Box Office Dynasty. Comment Bible study numbers. Next week, we will be picking another Bible study film. Share our podcast with your friends and fellow film lovers. And as always, thank you for tuning in, and we love you. And I love you, Jack. I do.
I love you too, buddy. Thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah, of course.
Bye, guys.
Later.